just a bit over the 8,900 pound mark, a very different, very fun 269 Sprinter coming down here at Advantage One RV. This is a wide body coach that has a big living room super slide and a very smart design that also manages to give us a full queen bedroom slide and only 32 feet of total length. And really, this is a model that I think utilizes the wider 100-inch body. It's 8'4" wide versus a standard 8-foot body. And that 4 inches doesn't sound like much, but what it's doing here, especially considering this is a deeper 42-inch slide versus a standard 36-inch slide, it all adds up. And what that means is that this has pretty close to the space of a two-slide RV without the weight and the cost of that second slide out, which is a very hard thing to accomplish, very creative, and it gets the job done well. Now, you see over here, we've got that electric space heating Tootsie Toaster across from those rocking chairs. That TV, by the way, can pivot around for easy viewing, so it doesn't matter if you're sitting back at those chairs surrounded by all those breeze windows, or if you're over here in that tri-fold sleeper sofa, also surrounded by breeze windows. This thing has really good entertainment viewing all over the place, not to mention just a cool little kind of visiting corner back here. I like that extra little cabinet above the couch. So many manufacturers have phased those out, going for the bigger windows like we see over here around the dining area. Although, don't get me wrong, kind of like the look of those big windows too. One of the cool things about that deeper slide out is a lot of times in a 36-inch 3-foot super slide, the two chairs near the edge of the slide floor, they're kind of sometimes half in the slide, half out of the slide, and you don't have that problem here. It's just a little easier and just feels more organic, I suppose. And I love just the welcome home kind of, what I want to say, almost log cabin sort of woodwork kind of look, feel, and tone that they have going on here. And again, like I said, if you're sitting over here on the sofa, you've got yourself just a bang-up angle on the entertainment center. But like I said, if you're sitting back there at those recliners, you can move that TV around. I mean, they've got an aggressive swing arm on there. And that is a big, heavy-duty swing arm, because that ain't exactly the smallest television, and it certainly doesn't feel like it's ready to give up the ghost or anything like that. Taking a look at all the storage here, that's one of the other things this does very well. A lot of times when you have a shorter rear living room model, which by fifth wheel standards, this does qualify for shorter. Obviously, that's a very relative term. You will really have a kind of a rough kitchen space. And I don't feel that is the situation here at all. And that is sparkling clean. I believe whoever owned this probably not only just cleaned it when they bought it and then cleaned it when they brought it into us to sell here at Advantage One. I think that they also probably were like on top of regular routine care, maintenance, and cleaning, because this is just everything on this is stellar. I love that vertical space right there where they have that, I call it the pull-out pantry. That is a hard space for manufacturers to use otherwise, but I did want to get that out of the way so you can see nice, big, wide open wastebasket space down there. And good kitchen prep space. I tell you what, those appliance outlets, they're also very nicely positioned, so you can actually have a coffee maker back in that corner without really interrupting the flow of the rest of the RV. Not like the whole camper, like the kitchen specifically. I think you know what I mean, right? Now, the way that this bathroom is positioned with the angle of the door opening and things, it's a little tricky for me to record, so I'm going to have to jump around a little bit. But I wanted you to see that remote control right there, because this has one of those nicer, large, like big XL vent fans to get you some good anytime airflow. And if you're not tall enough, you can just use a controller on the wall to operate it. And using that fan as a point of reference, there is a very nice linen cabinet here. And really, the upper deck of this reminds me of the way Keystone has done a lot of their fifth wheel toy haulers. Because toy haulers have those huge, giant garage spaces. They often have, you know, the biggest living rooms that they can. Sometimes the upper decks, they got to get really creative with space. And that's what this feels like to me. They got really creative with the space, and they kept it functional, like with this big, giant shower. And again, a step and a bend and a pivot, so that you could see the vanity over here. And a big sink with nice counter space on both sides. That is sometimes hard to find in RVs. Then finally we get ourselves up to the bedroom. This is 50 amp. You've got a 15,000 BTU air conditioner in the living room. It is second air conditioner ready. That is something that we can assist you with if you really need, like if you're like, I want this RV, but I live where it's hot, I'll come get it. But you know, you got to get a second air put on it. We can get you quotes. We can do all that kind of stuff. And although the bedroom is basically just flip-flopped left to right from what you'd normally find in a lot of fifth wheels, once you're up in here, you see it works really well. They just kind of had to do that because of the position of the entry door to help keep the length down into that 32-foot range. Also, previous owners bought a extra little TV here that does have its own built-in DVD player in that as well. When I look up here, it does look like at some point they had a wall mount. My guess is they wanted to keep the wall mount, but they left the TV behind. So still, all you need here is a quick little wall mount. You can get one of those things off Amazon pretty cheap, pretty easy, and be good to go. Or if you're the type of folks like, I don't need a TV in my bedroom, just put it somewhere else. I don't know, maybe in your house, you know? Big front wall-to-wall closet and dresser. And remember that this being a 100-inch wide body means it is just a little bit bigger in there. Also, that is a 60 by 80 True Queen bed, and there are breeze-through windows on both sides. And that is that sitting up a little higher? Did they replace the? They did. That is not the camper backbreaker wafer of death. That is a about a double to triple the factory thickness aftermarket queen bed right there. So my final impression before we go outside, this is in great shape. This has been very nicely kept. You are not inheriting someone else's abuse or misuse or lack of upkeep. This one was done right. Magically melding through the bedroom floor to get us outside to the pass-through compartment just below the bed and bath. Notice up top that outdoor picnic table, kind of a handy little job right there. Those look like some slide support bars if you're going to be at a destination for a while. Some people prefer to use those things. Gives them a little more peace of mind about the security and stability of the slide system. And notice that water heater. That's one of those things that you can't very easily pick up on via camera, but that is a larger 10-gallon water heater versus a 6-gallon like you typically find in this class. That means this has about 22 gallons of hot water per hour on fast recharge mode, if I'm working from memory here, but that sounds about right. You see the slide-out awnings, reducing the care, maintenance, and upkeep that is required for this one. Down below, we've got, I'm such a screaming fan of these things. The strong arm type stabilizer jack bars right here, especially on a wide body coach like this. When you reach your destination, you crank those things down, and this is going to feel like it's on a concrete pad. Those things are absolutely, they live up to every bit of the hype that you ever hear out there. Now, I mentioned previously this is a wide body model. It's a 100-inch wide body system. The idea there being it's not quite as super duper big intimidating as like a big long coach, but we're still giving us extra living and cargo space throughout the entirety of the RV. The underbelly is enclosed, forced air heated. You also see that there is a handy little docking station right over here. That's where your like cable, water kind of stuff would hook up, and then you can key lock it away from unsupervised neighborhood children. And overall, the exterior here is looking pretty good. I'm not seeing skin fade and decal crack-a-lacking and peeling or anything like that. On the back here, previous owners applied a little 2-inch receiver hitch that actually bolted through the tubular rear bumper. And I don't mean tubular like the Ninja Turtles or anything like that. Now, you see that it does have a set of safety chain hooks here. I don't want to mislead people. I'm not calling that a towing hitch. I'm sure someone might do it, but typically those bumpers are only rated for about 200 pounds. I'm going to call that an accessory hitch. But it should do, I mean, if you're just looking for bike rack coverage, some things like that, it'll do just fine. Now, interestingly, back here, behind that slide where the awning's located, that slide almost acts like a visual break point, and it creates a very private space back here. And the previous owners applied 2 upgrades here right to the entry area. This has an anti-slam entry door. You see that big folding handle right there. But they swapped out the original factory standard steps for a nice set of more rides here. And even added that second entry handle for just kind of easy come and go. They also swapped out the original factory key set for a programmable deadbolt tumbler. So if you decide you want to go for a bike ride, you don't worry about your keys falling out of your pocket. Handy little feature to have right there. And I'm glad I got up here because I actually spotted something that I was really happy to see. Overall, I mean, you can see that this has been cleaned, it's been conditioned, it's been very well maintained. These all look like pretty much the factory original seals though. And then I got back here to the ladder where those stanchions kind of hook into the roofing right there. You see how they did a very heavy application of some touch-up self-leveling sealant. So obviously the folks were up here, they were taking care of it, and they were being proactive. They just apparently decided they were done camping. So like I said, a little bit unconventional, but the execution of this floor plan is actually a really creative way to keep the total length of the RV down while still giving us good living space and obviously that full bed slide, which is hard to find in this size. A lot of times you got to be up in that closer to the 34, 35 foot range to do that. And 2 feet sometimes makes a difference between some of those tight sites. So if she looks right to you, give us a call. We'll get you camping. We can do financing, we can do trades, we can do hitching, we can do all that stuff. All we need is a fair chance to work with you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.